Good evening, friends. Myself is Amit Ahuja, and welcome to the Online Agriculture e-platform. Today, we are going to initiate a quiz about entomology and nematology. In this quiz, I will deal with the most frequently asked question in every exam like JRF, SRF, NET, and other SAU entrance exam. So, friends, be focused and be attentive because just don't focus on the question, focus on the options also because I will explain every question very carefully. Let's start. Our first question is, which is very important, juvenile hormone is secreted by. So we have four options here: corpora elata, corpora cardiaca, neurosecretory cells of the brains, and prothoracic glands. So these four glands are repetitively they ask in the exams. So what would be the answer? So our answer is corpora elata, which secretes juvenile hormone in the insects during the molting process. So what other glands do? Second one, we have the corpora cardiaca. So the main function of corpora cardiaca is to store and release the enzyme or hormone which is secreted by the neurosecretory cells. So whatever the enzymes or hormones neurosecretory cells secretes, it comes and stored to the corpora cardiaca. The third gland, neurosecretory cells of the brain. So these are the basic brain system which control other endocrine glands like corpora elata, corpora cardiaca. And the fourth one is prothoracic glands. So prothoracic glands is here which is get activated by the secretion from neurosecretory cells, and the main function of prothoracic glands is secretion of ecdysone hormone, which is also known as molting hormone. So friends, these four questions are very important any aspect of JRF, SRF or NET exams. Next question. Friends, before moving to the next question, I would like to share a happy news with you that we have provided the nematology course. The tutor is myself, Amit Ahuja from Indian Agricultural Research Institute as a guest faculty of online agriculture. In this course, we are dealing with the nematology lectures as a recorded, and those who registered or subscribe our course will be added to our WhatsApp group. So this is the WhatsApp number. For any query regarding the course, you can message me on. The course price is usually 6,000 rupees, but this is the monsoon offer. We are giving the 40% discounts. Friends, we are running also premium quizzes in the Telegram group. Some are free and some are paid subscribe quizzes. So for attending those quizzes, you can go to the link, Telegram link. You can put @ online entomology and nematology in Telegram group, which is expanding day by day and providing you the better material for the study entomology and nematology. Thank you. Next question. Nema wool is made by. So this nema wool is nothing but a resting structure. We have four very important options in the nematodes. First is Ditilancus dipsaki, Anguina tritici, Globodira rostochiensis, Rotilanculus reniformis. So friends, just for a sake, if I give the common name, Ditilancus dipsaki is known as stem and bulb nematode. Anguina tritici is known as ear cockle nematode which infests the wheat crop. Globodira rostochiensis, also known as potato cyst nematode, and Rotilanculus reniformis is known as reniform nematode. So our question is, nema wool is secreted by. So answer is Ditilancus dipsaci. So this nematode generally made a wool-like structure which is presented in this picture. This wool is nothing but aggregation and masses of many number of nematodes together. So why they make nema wool? Because it protects during the unfavorable environment condition. The outer nematode on the surface of nema wool dies and the inner one remain alive for many years. If you go around the nematology, you will find that Ditilancus dipsaci has ability to live around 23 years, which is a very long period. So what next? I have given other option like Anguina tritici. So Anguina tritici cause wheat seed gall disease. So in this picture you can see the seed galls, which is also known as ear cockle. So these are the resting phases in which many juvenile two stages of nematode get coiled together and survive for the longer period. In the Globodira rostochiensis, you can see the appearance of cyst during the month of January and February on the roots of potato. So here you can see two types of cyst. One is pale in color, one is white in color. So there are two species, Globodira rostochiensis and Globodira pallida. And the fourth option is Rotilanculus reniformis. So this is the Rotilanculus reniformis. A very common question comes about Rotilanculus reniformis is about the shape of mature female, which is kidney shape. So if you look this female, it is like a kidney or also known as reniform nematode. Thus the genus name is reniform nematodes. So this nematode has the ability to retain its cuticle, which provide also protection during unfavorable condition. So when they ask about the nemavule, the answer is Ditilancus dipsaci. When they ask about the ear cocle, which is coiling of juveniles inside the wheat seed gall, that time it is Anguina tritici. And formation of mature cyst in the soil and survival for the longer period, that time it is Globodira rostochiensis. And retaining of old cuticle sheath, that is Rotilanculus reniformis. Our third question is, pupa of mosquito is known as. So mosquito, there are many species like Culex, Aedes, Anopheles. There are many questions associated with these three nematodes regarding the spreading of many diseases, where these mosquito act as a common vector. But our question is very common. Pupa of mosquito is known as. So we have four options. First is puparium. Second is tumbler. Third is flax seed stage. Fourth is chrysalis. So these four options I have given purposefully because repeatedly any one of them is asked in exam regularly. So our answer is tumbler. So friends, if you see the mosquito life cycle, it's belong to the order Diptera. Okay, in Diptera generally we have the holometabola, where four stages you can see: egg, larva, pupa, adults. Okay, so in case of mosquito, the larva is also specifically called as wriggler. This is the peak of wriggler, which is very active larva. You can find this larva on the water surfaces. It generally floats. The pupa of mosquito is known as tumbler, which is our question. And friends, this is the active form of pupa. It can swim because it has anal paddles. In most of the insects, pupa is inactive phase because it is a resting phase. But in case of mosquito, it is active. So what next? We have other three options. We have one puparium. So puparium is made by housefly. So this is a simple question, friends. What is the pupa of housefly is called? It is puparium. You can see the photo of pupa. This is black color pupa. Flax seed stage, very important question. The pupa of Hessian fly. This is Hessian fly, which looks like a flax seed. That's why the pupa name is flax seed stage. And the next one is chrysalis. So chrysalis is the pupa of butterflies. So friend, these are the four different type of pupa. Puparium for housefly, tumbler for mosquito, flax seed stage for Hessian fly, and chrysalis for butterflies. Next, question number 4. Group of eggs of mantis is known as. So mantis, you can also say the praying mantis. We have four different options: egg pod, case, egg raft, and egg card. All four are very important. So our answer is egg case. So this picture you can see, this is the group of eggs of mantis. Friends, you are watching this frothy material, foam-like structure. It is nothing but technically called as spumeline. So this question is also very important. The frothy material in the egg masses or egg case of mantid is known as spumeline. The rest option next is egg pod. This egg pod is made by a grasshopper. Generally, what grasshopper do when it lays eggs? It bury the eggs inside the soil and again cover it with frothy material. So simplicity, you have to remember that egg pod is made by a grasshopper. Next is egg raft. Raft is the group of eggs of Culex mosquito. So friends, if I say three technical terms for mosquito, like the group of eggs is known as egg raft, the larva is known as wriggler, and the pupa is known as tumbler. And egg mass. Egg mass means simply a mass-like structure of eggs where many eggs are laid together. So it is formed in the case of moths and butterfly. But the picture, if you see, I have given this picture of DFL of silkworm. What? DFL of silkworm. If you are going to start a sericulture like venture, you will get these egg cards in which DFL will be given. DFL means disease-free layings. So these are also a female moth laying laid eggs. So example of egg masses only. Next important question. Fissured or clefted wings are seen in. So if you go for the insect, you have many kinds of wing. Elytra, hemi-elytra, tegmina, membranous, fissured, and fringe wings. Many different kinds of wings exist in the insects. So our question is fissured and clefted wings are present in. We have four options: plume moth, thrips. Sorry friends, some technical mistake is there. I will go to the description. Friends, we have some examples like fringe wings. The fringe wings are found in thrips. And what question was fissured and clefted wing? So it is present in the plume moths. You can see the wings of plume moth, Xylestis etamosa. The wings type is fissured and clefted. In case of Electra, Electra wings are present in the beetles, but remember it is always the fore wings, not hind wings. So wherever fore wings are Electra or fore wings are Tegmina, in case of grasshopper and cockroach, the hind wings will be always membranous. So friend, this is very important question. Every year repeating question, like Electra wings are found in beetles, Tegmina is found in grasshopper and cockroach, but remember always fore wings. One more very important wing type is haltier. So remember haltier, these type of wings are found in hind wings of Diptera. Which one? Hind wings. So this is one exception in case of Diptera. So we have different kind of wings type in insects. Next, very important question about the feeding structures of nematodes. So we have the question here, giant cells by root knot nematode is made in which part of the root? So we have roots. If you see roots from outside, first we have epidermis, then we have endodermis, then we have pericycle, a cortex, then we have pericycle and vascular bundle. So first one is epidermis, endodermis, cortex, pericycle and vascular bundles. So there are many different nematodes which made their feeding site in different parts, which is every year asking questions, sometime in JRF, sometime in SRF. So let's see what are the important feeding sites made by nematode. So the question was for root knot nematode, so answer is vascular bundle. So friends, just remember root knot nematode, they make giant cell. Cyst nematode, they make syncytium. Then we have a citrus nematode. Which one is Tylanculus semipenetrans? It makes nurse cell. Then last one important feeding structure is prosyncate. Prosyncate is made by Rhotilanculus reniformis. Friends, every year from these four nematode species, you will get the question. The first one is giant cell by root knot nematode. Cyst nematode makes the syncytium. Citrus nematode Tylanculus semipenetrans, it made the nurse cell, and prosyncate is made by Rhotilanculus reniformis. So I asked the question about the site where these structures are formed. So if you look out this picture, this is the picture, these two. One is made by cyst nematode, that is syncytium. One is giant cell, that is made by root knot nematode. So these both structures, syncytium and giant cell, are made inside vascular bundle. Okay. Then we have citrus nematode Tylanculus semipenetrans, which makes the nurse cell. If you look this nurse cell, you will find one picture. The nurse cells are generally made inside the cortex region of the root. Cortex region of the roots. Then we have prosyncate. Prosyncate is generally made half of the pericycles and sometimes in vascular bundle. It is made by Rhotilanculus reniformis. So friend, this picture having many other different type of nematode species. This may be important for the SRF exam or NET in nematology. But these four questions are important for JRF exam. If you want more description about this picture, you can refer the WIS 1977 research paper in which this is given properly. Next, question number 7. Patches of stunting and yellowing in the field of wheat and bushy appearance of wheat is due to the infestation of which nematode? So we have two important characters here. First is patches of stunting and yellowing in the field. Second is bushing appearance of the root. Four option we have: Anguina triticale, wheat seed gall nematode, Anguina triticale plus the combination bacteria Clavibacter triticale. Third option is Heterodira aveni, and fourth option is Melodogyne gramicola. What would be the answer? Answer is Heterodira aveni, which is commonly known as cereal cyst nematode. The major hosts are wheat and barley. This nematode was first time reported in the Rajasthan by Vasudeva. So the symptom of this nematode is you can see the bushy appearance of the roots. Same times you can also find the root swellings. Means roots not get swells. And if you go the above ground symptom, which is not shown in this picture, that is stunting and yellowing in the field. But next option are very important. I am telling you, this question is very important for the exam, and many times it is given wrong answer. If they ask only about the ear cockle, that means seed gall, you have to just pick the answer Anguina triticale. So Anguina triticale is single responsible for the formation of ear cockle and seed gall. But when it comes with the combination in Clavibacter triticale, this is the bacteria. Sometimes it is also known as Corynebacterium triticale, or sometimes it is known as Rayathibacter triticale. So when Anguina triticale comes in the combination with this bacteria, it causes a simple disease which is known as Tundu disease. Tundu disease is also known as yellow slime or yellow ear rot disease. The Clavibacter triticale is a bacteria. So the major difference in this nematode and combination is when the infested plant with yellow slime or yellow ear rot disease, you can find a bacterial ooze because the bacteria is there for the combination, but not in case of Anguina triticale. And the last one is very important question: Melodogyne gramicola. This is emerging problem in India in wheat and rice growing system. The unique character of this nematode is formation of horseshoe shaped gall. Means what are the galls they made? First thing is it is terminal galls on the tip of the root. Most of the nematodes make the galls in between the axis of the root, but it make the terminal galls, and the shape is horseshoe shaped galls. So these are the four important nematodes related to the wheat and rice growing ecosystem. Next important question is rectangular abdomen is seen in. So we have, this question is from apiculture. Four options are there. First is worker, second is drone, third is queen, and fourth is owl. So friends, why I have asked this question? Because in apiculture, sexual dimorphism occur in between bees, sexual dimorphism, which simply means you can differentiate between the worker, drone, and queens based on the body shapes. So the answer is drone. The rectangular shape abdomen occurs in drone, and in case of worker and queens, we have triangular shape. So remember the rectangular shape abdomen in drone. Next question is from sericulture. Process of killing a silkworm cocoon is known as. So whenever we get the silkworm cocoon, we have to prevent the emergence of adult, because once the adult emerges out, the silk we can't reel. So this silk will be wasted. So we have to kill the pupa inside this cocoon. So the process is known as what? We have four options. One is riddling, stifling, harvesting, and rendita. So the answer is stifling. Stifling is the process of killing the cocoons, not cocoons, pupa inside the cocoons. So it is generally a boiling treatment. They kill it by boiling in simplest method, but nowadays modernized machines are available for the fast processing. What other options are? One is riddling. So riddling is sorting out of cocoons. Sorting means we have to grade different variety of cocoons, like it is good or bad. So that is sorting, or also known as riddling. The other word is harvesting. So harvesting is done when? Just after 5th day of spinning, when the pupal cases get hardened. So harvesting is a separate term. And rendita term used in sericulture just to tell number of kilogram of cocoon required to 1 kilogram of reeled silk. So 1 rendita, how much cocoon would be required for 1 kg of reeled silk. So that is rendita. So friends, you can refer the sericulture notes for easy understanding, because nowadays in exams sericulture and apiculture are equally important for giving the questions. Question number 10. Excessive dilution of enzymes in the midgut of Homopteron is done by which insects comes under in Homopteron? We have bugs. So this question tells which part of the bugs have the tendency to dilute the enzyme. We have 4 options: filter chamber, rectal papillae, ileum and crop. This question is again repeated in many times in many exams. Answer is filter chambers. So the filter chambers have the connection between the anterior end of the hindgut and midgut. So these are the pipe-like structure which generally dilutes the enzyme in the body of the bugs. Rest structure, we have rectal papillae. Most of the structures are related to the digestive system, to absorb the mineral, to absorb the water, many things, absorb the enzymes and nutrients. So rectal papillae we can find in ant and bee, which belongs to the order Hymenoptera. Then we have ileum. This is important question in exam. They will ask which site contain the protozoans in case of wood eating termites. So in case of wood eating termites, this is the picture of wood eating termites. In the hindgut of wood eating termites, a structure is called ileum. This ileum contains symbiont protozoans. These protozoans help in digesting to this insect because they eat on the woods. And the last one is crop. This structure is generally the structure of foregut, which act as a food reservoir. So if they ask which structure in the foregut act as a food reservoir, is crop. But in honeybee, this crop is modified to form a structure which is called honey stomach. So these two questions can be interrelated to each other. The question number 11, and last 2 years this question is frequently asked in 2 exams. Nimitz is the trade name of, because this nematicide has been introduced in market very recently, like last 2 to 3 years back. We have 3 chemical components: fluensulfone, fluenpyrone and fluenazadiazolin. So these compounds are looking similar in the names. And fourth one option we have carbosulfone. So let's see the answer and remember this question, because this year also it may be asked in the exam. So Nimitz trade name is for fluensulfone. This is a nematicide produced by the company Adama. This is also important because in the market very few nematicide exist nowadays. Even carbofuran was highly utilized nematicide, but nowadays it also comes under in prohibitory list. The second one is fluenpyrone. Fluenpyrone, the trade name is vellum prime. Fluenpyrone trade name is vellum prime. This is produced by Bayer company. So friend, one more important point regarding this. Nimitz is fluensulfone produced by Adama. It is a granular formation. It is granular like carbofuran. But this vellum prime is liquid formulation. The third one is fluazendizolone. The trade name for this is Celebro. So this compound is not yet registered in India. So this is not available, but it is also a nematicide. And carbosulfone. The carbosulfone in the market comes with the name of Marshall. So friends, you have to remember 4 trade name here. One is Nimitz, one is vellum prime, one is Celebro, and one is Marshall. Any one question is very much expected in the exam. Next, very important question: mode of action of carbamates groups of insecticides. So we have listed 4 different kind of mode of action. First is insect growth retardant. Second is chitin synthesis inhibitors. Third is juvenile hormone mimics. And fourth is inhibition of acetylcholine enzyme. So what would be the mode of action of carbamates? The answer is inhibition of acetylcholine esterase enzyme. Not only carbamates, organophosphates also work on this principle only. What happens generally if you have to transfer the message between the insects? So this is called nerve synapses. In this one nerve synapses, this enzyme generally breaks this acetylcholine into acetyl and choline group. Acetyl and choline group. And this group only will transmit to the next cell in this cell. But if you block the activity of this enzyme, so this will not move to the next cell, it will continue accumulate here. And if it is accumulate continue here, the impulse will stop and insect will die due to convulsion. So organophosphate and carbamates, both these insecticides exhibit this kind of action only. But one more important question from these two sides of pesticide, one is organophosphate, one is carbamate. They ask about the permanent effects or reversible effect. In case of organophosphate, it is irreversible. That's mean permanent. But in case of carbamate, it is reversible in action. That's mean the effect will be reduced after some time. So friends, always remember organophosphate and carbamates both inhibits the activity of acetylcholine esterase enzyme. In case of organophosphate, irreversible action. In case of carbamates, reversible action. I have listed some other options. So let's see what are the important commercial products are available for these other activities. First is chitin synthesis inhibitors. So if you go to the market, chitin synthesis means chitin is required for the cuticle. If it is inhibited, the insect will not grow or develop. So we have lufenuron. The lufenuron is available with the trade name of Match and Cigna. Then we have teflubenzuron, which is available with the name of Nomolt. Then we have diflubenzuron that is present in the market with the name of Dimlin and Adapt. These are very important examples nowadays asked in the exams. Then we have juvenile hormone mimics, which mimicry the hormone, juvenile hormone. The important product of juvenile hormone mimics in the market is methoprin. So methoprin is sold under the trade name of Altocid. Then we have tynoprin, which is sold under the name of Enstar. Then we have hydroprin, which is sold under the name of Gencor. The last option what we have, insect growth retardant. The best example of that, thiophenolane, which is sold under the trade name of Aware. So these are the very important products nowadays used as alternative to other chemicals. Next question is very important, a different type of silk. What I have mentioned is cone silk is produced by. So friends, generally we have four very popular silks in India: Munga, Tassar, Irri and Mulberry silk. One is Munga silk, Irri silk, Mulberry silk and Tassar silk. But friends, many other different insects also produce different kind of silks. So first one I have asked is cone silk. Produced by which insect? So options are here: Attacus atlas, Niphalia madagascariensis, Pinna squamosa and Pachypasa attus. So the answer is cone silk is produced by Pachypasa attus. So just note it down. Don't require any other detail. Just you should know which kind of silks are produced by which insect. Others are Attacus atlas produce Fagara silk, which is very important. This picture is for cone silk only. So if they ask who produce Fagara silk, the answer is Attacus atlas giant moth. Then next we have spider silk. Spider silk is a non-insect silk because it is produced by a spider. So it is made by Niphalia madagascariensis. Third one is mussel silk. The mussel silk is produced by Pinna squamosa. So these four silk type you have to note it down your notebook. The rest one which is very popular in India is that this mulberry silk, which is simply produced by Bombyx mori. Tassar silk is produced by Anthrea species. Anthrea paphia is there, Anthrea pernay is there. Irri silk, it is produced by Philosomia ricini. The word ricini is taken from the castor name. The castor scientific name is Ricicus communis because this silkworm grows on the castor. That's why the name is Philosomia ricini. And the fourth one is Muga silk. Muga silk is Anthrea assamensis. Assamensis means because its production is highest in Assam. And one more important related question to the Muga silk is India have monopoly on this silk production. So friend, this is the 8 different type of silks. You have to note it down your notebook. Question number 14. Which juvenile stage hatches out in order Dorylamida? So friends, I have simply asked which juvenile stage comes out from the eggs in order Dorylamida. So first we should know what is order Dorylamida. So the most of the plant parasitic nematodes, they are categorized under two order, Dorylamida, then Tylancida. So we have two different order. And the important nematodes which comes under the Dorylamida is Longidorus, which is known as needle nematode, Giphinema, which is known as dagger nematode, Trichodorus, which is known as stubby root nematode. So remember LXT. And rest many nematode like root knot nematode, cyst nematode, citrus nematode, reniform nematode, lance nematode, then all nematode, many other nematodes, all are related to the Tylancida order. So it is a simple question. If we ask about which stage comes out from the eggs in Dorylamida, that's mean in Longidorus, Giphinema and Trichodorus, that is directly juvenile 1 stage. But in case of Tylancida, it is comes juvenile 2. So indirectly, if in exam they ask which stage comes out in root knot nematode, answer is J2. Which stage comes out in Giphinema, answer is J1. Which stage comes out in the citrus nematode or reniform nematode, that is J2. So this is the answer, juvenile 1. So we have simple lifestyle of nematode is first stage is eggs, then juvenile 1, juvenile 2, juvenile 3, juvenile 4. And among these we have 4 molting. From J1 to J2 molt 1, J2 to J3 molt 2, J3 to J4 molt 3, and J4 to adult molt 4. So you have to remember the sequence of this molting and lifestyle also, because sometimes they ask first molting happen when? Between egg to juvenile 1 or juvenile 1 to juvenile 2. So answer is juvenile 1 to juvenile 2, the first molting stage happens. Question number 15. Which one among these is an exclusively fungal feeding nematode? I have asked fungal feeding nematode which feed on the fungus. We have 4 options: Aphelencoides bacie, Aphelencoides frageri, Aphelencoides ritgemabosci, and Aphelenchus aveni. So the answer is Aphelenchus aveni is feed only on fungus. No any other plant species it feeds on. This is the photo of Aphelenchus aveni. So why I have given this question? It has two purpose and two famous question every year coming in exam. First is this, which one is exclusively fungal feeding nematode? Second is among these all belong to the Aphelenchida order. Pilot knobs. The only one way to differentiate between the genus Aphelencoides and Aphelenchus. One side is Aphelenchus, one side is Aphelencoides. You can only differentiate this genus based on watching stylet knob. It is present in Aphelencoides genus, it is absent in Aphelenchus genus. That is very, very important. So this is the second famous question which comes regularly in the exam. So we have 3 more options. Aphelencoides bacie. As you all of know that this is very important. I have given 2 pictures. This nematode cause 2 diseases. First is white tip in rice. This question is frequently asked nowadays. White tip disease in rice is caused by Aphelencoides bacie. But this nematode also becoming a problem on the tuberose in West Bengal and Odisha area. In tuberose, it causes floral malady disease. Floral malady means the distortion of the flower portion in case. Okay. The second one is Aphelencoides frageri. The important question, why? Because this nematode causes very important disease which is known as spring crimp. Spring crimp. In strawberry, it's related to the leaves only. It produces the leaf spots. And the third one is Aphelencoides ritgemabosci. It causes the disease which is known as summer crimp. Friends, just remember, if they ask about the spring crimp, that is caused by Aphelencoides frageri. Aphelencoides ritgemabosci, it causes summer crimp. So these are many questions related to Aphelenchus and Aphelencoides, which is very frequently asked in the exams. Next important question, tulip shaped stylet knobs are present in. So what is stylet, friend? Stylet is a puncturing organ in the nematode mouths. If you see the nematode mouth, The first organ will be stylet, which generally punctures the root tissues. So this stylet have three parts. The first one is known as conus, the second one is known as shaft, and the last one is known as knobs, generally three in number. So the question says tulip shaped knobs. So what is tulip? Tulip is a flower. So this kind of knobs are seen in which nematode? So answer is Hoplolimus. Okay. So if you see the knobs of the Hoplolimus nematode, you have tulip shaped knobs inside it, which looks like a tulip flower. But one other important question like this only, which is frequently asked, anchor shaped knobs. So if they ask about the anchor shaped knobs, it is found in the Criconyma nematode. So what is anchor? Well, if you go to the sea beach, you can see the ships. They have a long thread-like structure, iron structure, which is known as anchor, and they throw it to the ocean to make stand the ship on the beach. So anchor type of ships, stylet knobs are seen in Criconyma nematodes. So always remember, it is repeated in question. One time if they will ask tulip shape, the next time they will ask that anchor shape. The question number 17th, ICAR, National Center for Integrated Pest Management is located at. So in short, we can say ICAR, NCIPM. It is located in the New Delhi. So it is related to the insect. This center is located within the campus of IARI, New Delhi. So I have given three different more locations in this option. One is Bangalore, one is Gurgaon, and one is Coimbatore. Which famous institutes are located in these places? In case of Bangalore, you can see NBAIR, National Bureau of Agricultural Important Insect Resources. It is also asked in exam. It is located in Bangalore. In Gurgaon, we have very famous institute IPFT, which is Institute of Pesticide Formulation Technology. So it is located in the Gurugram or Gurgaon in Haryana. And we have NIPHM, one institute more. That is National Institute of Plant Health Management. It is located in Hyderabad. And in last slide, I have given one more option, Coimbatore. So friend, if they ask India's one of the special kind of museum dedicated to insect is formed where? So it is formed in TNAU, Coimbatore. Tamil Nadu Agriculture University. They have established the insect museum there, and I have privilege to be an undergraduate student from this university in Kilikulam campus. Question number 18. Which kind of metamorphosis can be seen in the blister beetle? So metamorphosis is mean change in morphosis. Morphosis mean the body shape or body types. So we have four different type of metamorphosis, 5. Ametabola, hemimetabola, porometabola, holometabola, and hypermetabola. So I have asked the type of metamorphosis present in the blister beetle. So the answer is hypermetabola. If you see why it is have different type of metabola, you can see distinct kind of instar. Even the shapes and body organization of instar changes in case of blister beetle. Sometimes this instar in blister beetle is also known as triangulin. So if they ask in exam, triangulin instar is formed in case of which insect? The answer is blister beetle, which exhibit hypermetabola. What other kind of metabola is? Ametabola, where metamorphosis is absent. They simply ask in exam. It is present in silverfish, which belong to the order Thysanura. Then hemimetabola. Hemimetabola and porometabola both belongs to the incomplete kind of metamorphosis. The only difference is in case of hemimetabola, adults and young ones, or you can say young ones, the young one stages, they have both different kind of surviving habitats. Like adults are the terrestrial and the young ones, which is called as naiads, they are aquatic in nature. So hemimetabola, it is seen in dragonfly, damselfly. Okay, young ones are called naiads and adults are terrestrial in nature and young ones are aquatic in nature. The third type is porometabola. The porometabola is also known as gradual metamorphosis. The only difference from hemimetabola is in these young ones and adults both have the same habitat, like it is present in the grasshopper and cockroach. If you see the grasshopper and cockroach, the smaller one and the larger one look similar except the functioning of reproductive system and body size. So these young ones are known as nymph. Okay. And the last one is complete metabola, which is called as holometabola, in which 4 stages are there: egg, larva, pupa, adult. When these 4 stages are completely present, it is known as holometabola. In case of Coleoptera order, in which beetles comes, Coleoptera, the larval stages are known as grub. And in case of Lepidoptera order, Lepidoptera, the young one stages are known as caterpillar. This is the only difference. And this complete metamorphosis is present in many orders like Lepidoptera, Coleoptera, Diptera, and many more others. Question number 19. Types of mouthpart in ant, leon, grub. So types of mouthpart, we have listed different types. One is sponging, one is siphoning, one is mandibulosuctorial type, and one is chewing and lapping type. So what would be the answer is mandibulosuctorial type. Last question of our quiz is marketable form of lac is known as. So lac is also a commercial product which is made from insect. I have asked the question marketable form of lac. We have 4 options here: stick lac, seed lac, button lac, and shell lac. So what will be the answer? The answer is shell lac, which is the final processed form. Let's start with the first lac, which is airy lac. When a person go and harvest the sticks of the lac, mean early harvested lac. Early harvested lac. This early harvested lac is known as airy lac. And second lac is stick lac. Stick lac is it is also known as raw, crude, or scrap lacs. So if you see the lac on the sticks which is attached, we scrap from the stick. That is known as stick lac. From stick lac they start make seed lac. Seed lac. Okay. Seed lac is obtained after the cleaning and washing of these sticks. So this is the sticks. They remove the lac from this and they make clean and wash to make the seed lac. When this seed lac is molten, it boils and molten form to convert it to disc-like structure. So this is disc-like structure. It is known as button lac. And after the button lac, the last form, which is known as shell lac, it is sold in the market in form of flakes. So we have 5 different types: airy lac, which is early harvested lac. Then we have stick lac, which is known as raw, crude, and scrap lac. Then we have seed lac, which is obtained after washing and cleaning of stick lac. Then we have button lac, which is molten form and solidified form of disc. Then we have marketable form, that is known as shell lac. And even shell lac have different type. One is known as kiri, one is known as paseva, one is known as molema, which you can find it out in the sericulture's books. Thank you, friend. With this, we finished the quiz. And don't forget to subscribe the question to join our Telegram channel. This video will have all description below in the section. You can join the links from there. Thank you.